Hey, hello. I'm working. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you for, just coming in and saying hi. Hope everything is working out fine. I hope you can hear and see. All good. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be making little color mixes today. It's a it's a sort of color chart in a sense because I set up this palette, but it has 22 colors in it. And I am not gonna be making, the traditional color chart for 22 colors. That's just bonkers. And I don't even think there's paper big enough for it. Anyway, so I was sort of thinking about it and I was like, I still kind of want to do a bit of mixed exploration because I did. Oh, I'm trying to grab it. I did a few green mixes in this sketchbook and I was like, there's a lot of mixes that I'm not familiar with. So I think there's some value into exploring the mixes with this palette, but like I said, not as a standard color chart because it's just bonkers. So I thought about it and I was like, okay, so if I were to do the chart, I would have about 231 mixes, which is way too much. And I kept thinking and doing some math. And I came to the solution that if I cut off little pieces of cheap watercolor paper, 3 by 3 inches, I can set these up that I can do a pairing of color on each of these. And sort of go through my big chart, but just select which mixes I want to explore and go at it like slowly and progressively. And also having it this way, I have a lot of room to, explore the mixes. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm, dang it. So that's the kind of system I'm exploring right now. I cut up a bunch of little squares like this on a 9 by 12 sheet. It's fairly easy, so you cut like 3 by 3 squares they fit, and it would take like 11 sheets. I think that was it. Was that it? Does that make sense? Might not make sense. Oh, anyway, yeah, whatever. Basically just doing the mixes that I feel like doing, and we'll see where that takes me. And yes, it is a foam palette, but I kind of fiddled with it, which is not something that I usually do. But it was a a foam palette for tubes, so it had these 2 inserts in it, and I managed to wiggle them free with minor damage. There's just a little hole in here. And then I also removed the flap here because the way it was made, the flap will land in the paint. And I was like, you know what? That's annoying. Whenever you get time, I'd love to hear if you suggest green gold PY 129 as just generally useful pigment. I can't seem to find much written about it. I'll ask Lana tomorrow too if I get back from her. I mean, it is a great pigment. It is a great paint. As for usefulness, it entirely depends on the colors you like to use. Like, speaking of, I have a sort of, I have a color that's kind of close to it in this palette. And it's Holbein's greenish gold. I think it's a bit greener than actual PY 129. But yeah, if I mix it with indigo, it makes the most beautiful greens ever. But then again, if you never paint with green, you don't that's not a mix that would be useful for you. Do you know what I mean? What about the flap? I kept the flap. Flaps are one of the easiest things to remove or add back into a palette. So I kept everything. I kept the wire, I kept the flap, so I can install it back if I need it. But for now, it kept landing in my big pan of manganese blue mix. And I was like, ugh. That sounds messy. By the way, hi, a watercolorist, hi Keep. Hi Sassy Britches. Yo, yo, yo. Yay, color mixing day, yay. There's at least one person who's here for it. I am missing one key element. I am mixing a missing palette. Chiro est sous son ombrelle maintenant.
Huh? Oh. Yeah.
Right. Alright. Just gonna grab this. I paint quite a lot of greens and I am relying way too much on sap green. Wanted another option to mix with the blues and yellows I have. I mean, in this case, yeah, I would definitely try it out. You could add a pan of PY 129 in there and see how you end up using it or not. I'm also going to try and get Payne's Gray and see how that is. There are so many different Payne's Gray though. Okay, so I need to... I'm gonna try 7 and 10. These are both Winsor & Newton. The PY 129 and the Payne's Gray. The Winsor & Newton PY 129 is very pretty. It is one of my favorite paints of them. Ala Rose, hi! Hell yeah, color mixing and swatches are my favorite Caturday. Well, you're in for a treat then. I just want to... because I know I have it. So this is Winsor & Newton's PY 129. Just gonna make sure. Yep, they're green gold, they call it. And I want to compare with... so you can see, this is Holbein's greenish yellow. It is a mix. So that's why it is not like green gold, but it is quite similar in hue. It's just a little bit more green. So I think if you get that, you're gonna have the space for so many really interesting mixes in there. All right, sorry. I'll place the order, excited. Oh, yay! I don't remember what Winsor & Newton's Payne's Gray is like. Ouch. Okay, I just quickly grabbed my dot card. Okay, Payne's Gray we said. If you like Winsor & Newton colors and you like reds, their it really doesn't sell the color here, but their Perylene Maroon is chef's kiss. It's one of my favorite colors from them. Okay, so that's the green gold. Wait, hold on. This one. The green gold. They're very similar. And then up here I have their indigo. Their indigo is also really, really nice. But yeah, the Holbein indigo, I don't know, I hope you guys can see. The Holbein indigo, which is my swatch here, is very similar to Winsor & Newton. And you can see that the Payne's Grey here is more muted, but also relatively bluish. So I think you might get some really interesting muted deep greens with these two colors, this one and the green gold. Sorry. I always make a mess and I have to get up to like test everything and Gabor, hey! Well, it's nice to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi. Hello, Auntie Patience, hello. That green gold is neat from marsh side grasses. Ooh, they're kind of an odd shade when you really look at... Oh, I'll have to look into it. Well, the Perylene green... I swear, guys, I'm gonna swatch at some point when I'm done with getting up and giving myself paper cuts. Ouch. Okay, so that's their Perylene green. I swatched Holbein's Perylene green during... Oh, it's not too bad, actually. Not too grey, that one. I sometimes find that a lot of Perylene greens, they get really grey really quickly, but looking at this one from Winsor & Newton doesn't look to be that bad. This is Holbein's, which is my favorite, but it's very quite similar to... It's just the slightest touch a bit more green for Holbein, but really not all that noticeable. Not that I have the dot card out. I kind of want to mix the green gold with the Payne's Grey from my dot card. Dang it. It's such a shame that the dots that Winsor & Newton give us are so tiny. Do I have a piece of paper nearby? Oh, I might use the back of this one here. Okay. It's back of Arche, so it's not ideal. It's usually quite textured, but curiosity is winning right now, and I need to try this mix. I'm gonna try to pick up a bit of this. Then I'm gonna see about grabbing a tiny bit of the green gold. Hey, Namisao, hello! Speaking of Winsor & Newton, or what nights? You gotta be mindful, because if you want to refer to Winsor & Newton, you should put the ampersand in the middle, because otherwise it's the abbreviation for white nights. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to do a very extensive mix session, but because I don't have a lot of paint to grab from these. Just a few. I think you're gonna have some slightly more muted greens, but they're gonna be really nice still. Like, muted is not bad, muted is just muted. Alright. I'm finally getting around to swatching all the paints I randomly bought over the past few months. What's the pigment for the Winsor & Newton Canyon Free Red? They don't say. They don't share it. And yes, it is just as problematic as you might assume it is. Yeah, exactly. It's annoying that they decide to, and they still put the price tag on those. Like it's the same price as the freaking cadmium ones. Come on. I put WHN. Oh, that's clever. Versus, I usually put W ampersand N for Winsor Newton. Winsor Newton are one of the most secretive. You think? Because they don't hide, like they don't keep secret, quote unquote, the rest of their pigment paint, like whatever else they use. There was a time too when even the professional paint makers, they wouldn't label the pigments on the paints themselves. Some would write the type of pigment used, like they would say something like monoazo pigment on the tube, but not tell you which one. And fudge, sorry. And yeah, I have vintage Minka paints, like this one that I'm trying to paint the swatch of right now, this green. It's vintage Schminke, and there's no pigment info on it. And it's Horadam, it's not like anything particularly different, but it didn't used to be a thing. And if you look through vintage Winsor Newton, like the further back you go, I have a bunch of vintage tubes on them, and there's still no pigment info on them either. It's really annoying. I like that. Ampersand is a cool word to throw at unsuspecting folks, but trying to write one is bogus. I do a messed up one. Instead of the usual like weird ampersand, like the blah 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 blah. I usually just, I'm trying to make it bigger so you can see, but I usually just do this. When I do an ampersand, it looks like this. It's not actually an ampersand, but I picked this up when I was in high school, and I don't know where, but it stuck. Oh, and you probably can see. Oh, yay. So I do this instead of the, what's supposed to be like this. And I don't even know what that refers to. So far, no one has told me, like, what the heck is that, so... Kimberly Crick has light tested some of the cadmium-free paints, and they were not light fast. I thought I would light this. Huh, that's weird. I think it's hard to tell sometimes with pigments, like burnt umber pigment. Some of them use the same pigment, but it's altered with heat. Yeah, PBR7. And also, even if you don't alter it with heat, there's a lot of variance. On the older tubes, when they would write the sort of name of the pigment instead of the pigment code and the specific pigment, I had some tubes that I looked at recently that listed like calcined iron oxide or something. Oh shoot. Vivo? More than DS and their primitive crap. A side booty, that I like that. I like this side booty. A floppy uppercase. Yeah, that's also a good way to put it. I do a fast scribbly plus sign. Yeah, that also works. I feel like ampersand kind of reminds me more of a you know, like a musical, like a key sign, more than a Ah, c'est mes sacs.
Ok. Les sacs.
Tu sais, la commande, c'était les feuilles de rouleau puis les sacs. Ouais, parfait. N'importe où. Merci. Lana, hello. Hubs wonders if that was blue guy neighbor chicken. See, it's time for some background track. Oh wait, what was it the other day? I think on Friday. He had a go at it at like 2 minutes before 7 a.m. Like, even if it's a weekday, starting up the leaf blower before 7 a.m. is kind of shopping for someone going to your place and kicking you in the butt really hard. He does that on the weekend sometimes too, and I just want to go and kick his ass. Like, come on, man, have a bit of like decency. Who raised you? My parents. Whatever the you could say, they still kind of taught us to, you know, you try to be silent until at least 10 a.m. You know, you try not to be a pain in the ass before that. You know, perhaps weekdays are a bit different because there's the hubble shuffle of school and work and all of that, but on the weekend. I really can't deal with the leaf blower people. Ah! Hey, Arctic Journals, hello! Are you are you live from the car? It's mom shopping day. So the green is a discontinued Schminke color. And I was not able to find a pigment info for it, which is a bother, really. But it's a color, hold on. It is named Opaque Green Light Imitation. And I haven't been able really to find pigment info. It's not on the label, which sucks. So what did I miss since start? Well, not all that much, really. A lot of talking about mixes and color mixes and paints and companies being weird about not disclosing pigment information and how to label Winsor Newton pans as to not mix them up with white night pans. And also have a tea. It's time for some tea. Oh, it's cold. That's great. I want cold. Sorry. Okay, let's do this in an interactive way. You guys pick two numbers between 1 and 22. Love your mixing palette. You mean my ceramic dish? Liz, hi! Oh, I can't really do a proper focus, but these mixes are really interesting. Okay, 16. Okay, focus is good. I was just making sure that it was focusing properly. Oh dang. Okay, hold on. Post-its. I need a post-it. Alright. I'm gonna write all of these down. Yeah, it's huge. Just yeah, it's nice. It's really, really nice. It's big, but not too big. It's like 7 by 10. I'm thinking about what to do today in terms of art. I've been really into Procreate since my BD. But I'm considering, ooh, watercolor. Okay, so I'm gonna start. I'm gonna do 16 and 2, and then I can do 3 and 14. And then I can do 11 and 17, and then 2 will need a another number because the way I've numbered them and I've set up this, so 8 and 16. Yeah, I think that's it. Ah, birthday. Duh. Sorry. Oof. Sometimes the brain is not, you know, collaborating. And 16.
C'est en dessous de quoi de UPS?
Non, pas supposé. It's okay, I'm just too lazy to type birthday. You could type B day. So, how are you guys today? What's up? Even that is too long. Oh my gosh. After work, catch your play. Thank you so much for stopping by. Oh, Alia Rose. Sorry, I think I called you Ala Rose earlier. I'm so sorry. I hope you have a good day at work. Oh, I didn't say what they were. Sorry. 8, the blue, is manganese blue mix from Da Vinci. And the color number 16 is a mystery mix that is probably a mix of these 3 actually. So it's not exactly neutral perfectly. It's a bit brown, but it's a mix of permanent scarlet from Core, yellow Sophie from Sennelier, and then manganese blue mix. So basically just adding more manganese blue mix in my mystery mix. If it's, you know, truly the mystery mix. I forgot to label the pens, which is something that you should always do. But sometimes I just assume that I'm gonna be able to tell what's what, and And then years pass. Psyching myself up for a 19-kilometer hike. Ooh. Ooh. That sounds fun. Do you hike a lot? I love mixing muted colors. I mean, trying to think if there's a type of color that's not fun to mix. Feeling very tired and lazy. The heat has finally broken. Oh yeah, seriously. And it's just a nice, mild, sunny day, perfect for sweeping out the garage and moving boxes up from the basement to our... But I want a potate. Oh man. It's not pure manganese. It's the manganese blue mix. Which is still, you know, not too bad, but it's much more muted than real manganese blue. Still nice, still granulating, I'll take it, but yeah. Speaking of potatoing, where's potato? I don't know. Where's Otto? I love that with watercolor, it's possible to go like as dark as the mass tone of the pigments you're using will let you, but you can also go really light. And sometimes I feel like it's so easy to forget that if you take a really interesting granulating mix and you dilute it heavily, it makes for a really interesting color actually. I feel like sometimes it's really easy to focus on vibrancy and intensity of color, but there's really something special about a very, very diluted mix of pigments that I know I tend to forget about a lot. And then I paint like mixes like this and I'm like, oh yeah, that's absolutely like super pale gray is actually really nice. It's very beautiful. Concert last night. Ooh, spent the day with parents and grandchildren. So now I'm resting. What was the concert, if I may ask? Earlier when the topic of Payne's Gray came up, I was wondering if Otto has a showdown vid for that color. I bet she does, and I've probably watched and forgotten it. Yeah. I do that too. I have to go back and I will remember it if there's a particularly striking color in there. But more often than not, I have to go and rewatch. A Danish cover band. Oh, that sounds cool. That reminds me, I was thinking about doing some value studies and might up just for that. Oh, that's a good idea. Yes, I have come to love the super watered down colors and seeing that fine granulation and separation that does. Yeah, and I mean, it's so easy to forget about it. And like, why do we forget about it? I'm trying to figure out why I have this sort of default thinking that if a color is too diluted, I have to mix more and get something a bit more vibrant or a bit more intense. Because there's really no logic to it. Not with watercolor anyway, that's the whole freaking point of the of that medium. It's the fact that you can, you know, use it with water. Alright, so that was color 8 and color 16. Color 8 is Manganese Blue Mix from Da Vinci. And color 16 is a mystery mix that I mixed myself. Atho's channel is such a treasure trove. I agree. Like I've said this before, but I'm so glad that she kept it up. I just can't decide on colors. Maybe some... Ooh, ocean blue. Yeah, you could really play with the dilution and the application to see what gives you that color variation, you know, the best. All right. Okay, this one is going to be 3 and 14. I just can't decide on color. Oh yeah, ocean blue. I have two colors by core that I dislike, and I'm trying to think of what color to try mixing with either to see if I can grow to appreciate either color. Cerulean blue chromium and cobalt green. There's cerulean blue chromium. Hold on. Pretty sure I have this cerulean blue chromium. It's kind of hard to think of what to mix. Without seeing the color. So that's cerulean blue chromium. I mean, what do you have available to you to mix it with? I think that's something that Lana does. Like you take a color and you mix it with basically the Sprit primary colors. So you mix your color with your cool and your warm yellow, your cool and your warm red, magenta, and your cool and your warm blue, even if it's already a blue. And then what I like to do is I will take a color and mix it with like transparent paints, like nickel azo yellow, like a PV19 somewhere, or a phthalo blue, or phthalo green, or a transparent purell orange, you know, just the very like transparent intense colors. Since this is a granulating blue that's a bit more muted, I think it would be really interesting to see what happens when it mixed with the, you know, transparent staining intense colors. If the color you want to experiment with is not like granulating, you can mix it with a granulating color to see what happens. You can do that with granulating colors too. Like I would want to try mixing this one with the teal, I think. And then you said you had cobalt green. What paint box are your pans? It's a modified, like, heavy enamel palette. I removed the flap and I removed the inserts that were there for tubes. Yeah, it is a very pretty color for skies. I'm a bit surprised that you are struggling with it. And then cobalt green. Oh, that's PG-20. Oh, PG-26. That's a lovely one. Oops. So, if you have it, try mixing your cobalt green with a kind of cadmium red color. And it usually makes for a muted color, but then when it starts separating, you get such an interesting neutral color in there that's, you know, absolutely not flat. It goes a bit green, it goes a bit red, it's very like lively and fun and spunky. I've got too many colors for me being such an unexpert in yellows. Yeah, try to split primaries. That's a good starting point. And you can see, like, for example, if you're mixing your blue with the other blues, you're gonna get, you know, blue. But when you mix it with the split yellows and the split red / magenta, that's where you might find something really interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I was visible in frame, but this muted green is very, very pretty with a like a red, the kind of red that neutralizes it. Because when it separates, it's just perfect. You could also try mixing it with something like perylene maroon, like a dark red that's transparent, to see what happens. Basically, you can take out your color wheel and just, you know, experiment. In the sense of you mix a color with its complementary. I have to tape my thing back. And you can experiment, you can mix it with, you know, your favorite black color, you can mix it with any kind of, I would just do a bunch of mixes actually. I also used it with purple in the background. It becomes very neutral. Ooh! Oh, that's good to know. Cobalt green looks like a perylene green. It's not as dark, but it's very similar in hue, yeah. But it's granulating. If I mix them together, they're really heavier on the blue. I do get a muted teal turquoise. Turquoise that isn't half bad. And that try doing that one, that mix with a lot of water for the dilution aspect and the granulation aspect, to see, like, since they're both granulating colors, how do they play with each other. Okay, and now what's, so my 3 here is the greenish yellow. What's 14? Oh, Quinn Gold. Oh. I think we're in for a treat. So pretty. Oh my gosh, how pretty is that? I want to eat it. It's going to be a pretty straightforward one in terms of mixes, because these colors are relatively close to one another and they're both, you know, transparent colors, so you don't get... the mixes are for this palette. Like I briefly explained in the beginning that I set up this palette with, you know, when I asked about mixing all sorts of brands in one palette and that my brain was giving me grief for that. And I finally did it. I went through my pans and picked out some of my favorite colors and put them in here. Or just colors that I wanted to paint with, you know. So I have a palette that's a hodgepodge of all sorts of paints, but there's 22 colors in there. And then I did the math of what that represents in terms of a mixing chart. And that, I balked. I was like, you know what, maybe not. But then I figured a way to go at the mixes one by one in a way that lets me really explore a mix rather than have just, you know, very small limited space to see what a mix of two color can look like. So I'm basically just going through the colors in this palette and mixing them together. Top right corner is Manganese Blue Mix from Da Vinci. Hey, Galgos, hi! That is so smart. I don't know if it's smart or not, but it's sort of the only way I could visualize doing so many mixes. It's a lot less daunting to think about these little squares and doing a bunch of them than thinking about making this humongous mixing chart that you don't even make paper big enough for it, you know. It's nice to have a bit more space to explore a mix of two colors rather than, you know, when you do the regular mixing charts, you basically have just the intersection of the two colors. And that's a bit limited. Sean, hey! Hello, hello! I feel like it's been a while. It's nice to see you guys. It feels more like a micro in-depth to mixes when... Yeah. It's just been exhausted. Oh no! Are they giving you more grief than usual? I feel like having just, you know, room for one mix when you're mixing two colors together is not fair. Because sometimes you know, like sometimes what are you supposed to put in that square? Like if it's two complementary colors, are you supposed to aim for a neutral in there, or are you supposed to really go for 50-50? But how do you figure out 50-50 when not all pigments have the same characteristics in terms of tinting strength and all of that? I have a horizontal A4 watercolor sketchbook I use for mixing charts. My big palette has 3... Oh my gosh. Sorry, that's too big. Too big for me. The biggest mixing chart I do is 24. Oh my gosh, I couldn't. The biggest I've done, I think, must have been like 12 by 12. Otherwise, I just give up. To keep... Oh no. Oh. Ew. But yeah, you do the color studies. I feel like the color studies are sort of really, really perhaps the next step when you want to learn about what a color mix is like. You know what I mean? Also, what is 50-50? Yeah, exactly. Like, how are you supposed to evaluate what you put in the mix, in the square? Like, what's the... There can't be one rule because it doesn't really work with all of the paints out there. Like, you know what I mean? Smart palette with 3... Oh, it was not intentional though. I didn't intentionally make these bigger. It's just that I had these already in full pans because they're 3 colors that I really like. They're not the most versatile of, you know, quote unquote primary triad, but I really like these 3 colors together. So I had that, and then I went and rounded up a bunch of other favorite colors or colors that I want to paint with that I haven't painted with enough. I have a bunch of discontinued colors in there. Yeah, but I do about a mix that I like the look of. Yeah, that too, but it's just limited still. Like in the mixing chart, I mean. Having the room for just one mix is... It's not satisfying, I feel like. I'll even dip your... Oh no. It really sucks because it never feels like it's a justified action on their behalf to raise the rent, really. Like most of the time, I mean. There's way too many stories of, you know, no improvements being made, no care, no upkeep, and still the price go up, and you're like, why should I pay more? You're not doing anything. I'm eager to see what will happen with New York if Zoran Mamdani gets elected and his project to freeze the rent. So that's going to be really interesting to see, and just how much it could possibly influence other cities. But I like how your mixes show variation between the 2 color better. I was talking about your color studies earlier, Lena, and how you, if I remember right, you mix the colors with like your basic palette of colors. And I feel like that's also really helpful. For these, since I'm like mixing 2 colors together, like it's interesting to have a bunch of variations on a little piece of paper, but when you just want to explore one color, I like the idea of mixing it with your like basic palette. I think Otto used to do that too. Like she had her basic complementary palette, and she would always mix the colors with all of them, you know. I feel for you it's typical. Yeah. Hey, Cyan, hello. Apollo, hello, hello. Yeah, that's the infuriating part, is there are never any repairs or maintenance done. Better vetting of neighbors. Oh yeah, that I forgot about that. I don't know how, because I've had, you know, my fair share of problematic neighbors, but it's been okay the last few years. So it kind of, I think as a survival mechanism, I forgot about the bad ones. some of them were strikingly terrible. Oh, I had neighbors on top of us one time that would do like religious masses at 8 in the morning every day, every weekday, possibly. And I was working from home. That was long before COVID, but I was still working from home. And they would yell, "Hallelujah, hallelujah, Jesus," whatever. And I was like, just like, what's happening? And then they would stamp their foot on my head because they were like on the floor, but their floor was my ceiling. An old Montreal apartment, so not, nothing particularly well nothing soundproof, nothing made to be stampeding like that, And they wouldn't believe me that I could hear them. I had to go knock at their door, and I was like, "Can you tone it down?" He was like, "Tone what down?" I mean, "I can hear you." I was like, "Really? Yeah, come downstairs. See for yourself, Oh my gosh. Yeah, those were quite something. Oh, sorry. I mix them with a slightly random selection of color, but most are basic ones like PY3, PY150. Oh, that's good. That's a good idea. I love all the earthy warm colors I see. Yeah, me too. These are, you mean these, right? Or are you talking about the palette itself or the mixes? Because that's there's a lot of really beautiful glowy colors in here. Some neighbors are really from hell. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, full on like their own little religious event or something. Both. Fair. We had another neighbor that was really weird. And I think at some point, someone who knew him came on the front lawn and kept just yelling, saying his name loud to get him to come out. But the guy was not there. So we had a guy on the front lawn very loudly saying the other guy's name for like 15 minutes. And we had to be like, "He's not there." If he's not coming out, it's either that he doesn't want to see you or he's not there. Anyway, it was just... I don't have the best memory for those, but yeah, that guy too, the one whose quote-unquote friend came to yell his name outside, one day just left. And whatever stuff he had was still in the apartment. And he didn't come to pick it up, so the landlord had to clean the place up himself. And the guy had, like, let's say he was on the phone and someone gave him a phone number to write down. He just wrote it on the wall with like a marker. And it's just like, what's happening? Will you be making a painting for that palette? What do you mean? I have nice neighbors now, so I'm happy. I have nice next door neighbors, but my backyard neighbors are so weird. One has habit of collecting his dog poop at night in the dark with flashlight. Sorry, I was not expecting that. At least they collect the poop. Fair. But doesn't have to be at night with a flashlight. That's the weird part. Ruka thinks this is absolutely shady thing to do and have more than one think that... Yeah, seriously. I've got a single mom directly above me and her teen son. Ugh, they make noise at all hours. Wow, what the fuck? She stumps all over. Oh my gosh. 11 p.m., 1 a.m. No. Unbearable. Okay, that's... And it's so frustrating as a renter because you don't have any recourses for that. Like, yeah, you can go over there and confront them, but that might just backfire on you. And it's just like, dude, you're not living alone. Sharing a space. Okay, so 11 and 17. 11 is manganese brown from Winsor & Newton. People are weird. Yeah, tell me about it. I've hated the sound of Billy Joel's voice since 1978 when the guy upstairs bought his latest album. Sorry. I'm just picturing someone like flying into a rage instantly as Piano Man starts playing. It is just so funny. And yeah, I agree with everyone. Sassy bitches, that's awful. And like I was saying, like, a situation is unpleasant to begin with, and then what can you do? Buy noise cancelling earplugs, I guess. Like, what else? I used to text her in Vietnamese, and she told me I complained too much while continuing to park in my spot, dump her trash all over the property. Poor all that's... What the f... Okay, but how do you get there? Yes, that fucking I think my landlord doesn't hear well. They said they want quiet neighbors, but they can't hear us and think we're super quiet. We probably are, but Dante jumps around with toys and it's not an issue. Well, I mean, it also depends at what time of the day he does that, you know. If he does it like in the middle of the afternoon, I don't think a lot of people would bother if they're home at that time, but if he does it at 3 a.m. at night, that's when it's usually more of an issue. Okay, color 17 is... Oh, Winsor & Newton Chromium Black. Ooh, interesting. So a granulating brown and a slightly warm black. That's going to be interesting. Oh my god, though I love Billy Joel, my city has a college radio station and they play him a lot. I have tinnitus, so no earplug. Oh yeah. They irritate my ears too. So I have my AC blasting, which helps, but I still can feel the noise. Ah. That's annoying. I'll make myself cocoa. I think I'm gonna be mixing the color of your drink. I have tinnitus too, and I feel like the absolute worst is like complete silence. Because that's when you kind of notice it the most, right? If you could only have one blue in your palette, which would it be? Can we pick colors that no longer exist, or do we have to pick a color that's still here? It is too hot for tea or cocoa here, but maybe oh, iced tea is lifesaver. got my Winsor & Newton travel sketch kit out today and was reminded how beautifully transparent the Winsor & Newton colors are. Their marketing on that fact doesn't lie. No, the Pro colors. Yeah, I mean, of course, not Cotman. Duh. No, prefer a modern color, please. Oh, okay. Just one blue. And is it a palette that would be set for maximum versatility or for a specific kind of subject? Many churches are empty. I have an arrangement with an empty church where I live, based on the principle of guarding by inhabiting. Hey, that sounds lovely. Yes, cannot be in a silent room. Mine is worse at night and first thing in the morning. Daytime less noticeable because life is going on around me. But late, yeah. Almost. Just for all-purpose general painting. So if it's all-purpose general painting, a single blue. Oh. There's so many things to consider. Like, do I want a granulating color or not? Do I want a transparent color or not? Like, if I have to just, pick one, I think I would go for a phthalo blue-green shade. Because it's absolutely underwhelming kind of on its own. But it's also insanely versatile. So, depending on the other colors in my palette, I might be able to, make it darker, or neutralize other colors or whatnot. And it's also a color that diluted a bit works kind of well for skies. But yeah, it depends on so many factors, like the other colors in the palette, if you want granulating or not, that kind of stuff. If I want to sort of get something a bit fancier, what would I get? It's a really tough question, actually. But I feel like if it wasn't phthalo blue green shade, I might go for something like an indenthrone blue kind of, just because it goes darker. Like the absolute mass tone of indenthrone blue is much darker than phthalo blue. But I would kind of need indigo too, but that is cheating. I'm also deciding this to use across medium. Oh, watercolor. Oh, okay. Ooh. Indigo for me too, but otherwise phthalo blue. Yes. Oh man. Guys, I was thinking about something the other day, and I don't know if it's absolutely pointless, but I was curious to see, like, what if I mix phthalo blue green shade and phthalo blue red shade together? Do I get a more neutral one? And what happens if I mix phthalo green blue shade, PG7, and phthalo green yellow shade, PG36? Do I get sort of a nice middle transparent green? I feel like the most commonly assumed to be the best option blue is ultramarine. And I don't know if in that aspect it would sort of work better across multiple mediums. Because I don't know what the phthalo blue is like, let's say, for oils or whatnot. It might be just too transparent to actually be fun to use. Manganese Blue Nova by Holbein is a little less overpowered than a full. It's still nice and pigmented, but it's a bit more opaque as well. It's less transparent. It's beautiful though. I picked ultramarine. I find it the most versatile. Yeah, I feel like with your range of medium and subjects, the sort of the good old classics are something that might work better for you. Like yellow ochre, burnt sienna, a black, a white for the opaque ones, and then ultramarine, a cadmium red. Otto! Yee! Do it, do it. I have no idea. Oh, hi, Clive. Hi, Box of Paint. Hello, everybody say hi to Box of Paint. Nice to meet you, Clive. He's watching on TV, came out of there. Oh, I hope he's doing good. Yes, we love you. I'm gonna get your fur babies to go pester you a little bit. Come on, kitties. Go do your kitty job. Phthalo blue in oils is a rare case where people pick student grade on purpose. Why is that? Because it's more opaque? That's funny. Aw, we're sending a bunch of love to you guys as well. Hearts, 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 hearts. Oh, it's gonna be so nice to be home. Doing value studies finally. Ocean blue. Oh man, I feel like I'm gonna have to try that. Because of its tendencies. Oh, that's interesting. Ready, set, hairball! Oh, thank you, Otto. Otto is doing the work that is pretty difficult to do while away from a keyboard. Oh man, speaking of hairball, it's been awful. Like, we hardly see any for the whole of winter. The cats just don't shed. And then spring and summer come along, and it's like they were holding up all this time and keeping them for now. Amy and Baron need to be the bestest nurses. Absolutely. Nothing bad. No, nothing bad. Just cat shenanigans, you know. Poor time management. Oh no. Oh, nothing. Okay, nothing bad was for that. Okay, sorry. Kitties are glad to have him back home for sure. They haven't left his side since. Oh, good kitties. I'm surprised no one said cobalt. I mean, cobalt is odd. Like, cobalt blue is basically very often just a very expensive ultramarine, basically. And then when you go towards more of the cobalt teal kind of colors, are they still a blue? They're so in between blue and green that it's kind of difficult to use them as a blue, right? Cobalt is so expensive. So sometimes when you're kind of on a budget, the subtleties of cobalt blue are kind of not worth the extra price tag, you know. I'm sorry for spamming the chat, but it's bugs. Yeah, no. Did I say anything? I think it's kind of pretty, actually. Cobalt blue is much different to me because of the value. Well, it really depends on the brand of cobalt blue, so that's the thing too. Some cobalt blues will be, you know, a bit different than ultramarine, but sometimes they're almost the same hue. And I feel like you can get a similar value if you take your ultramarine and you mix it with a little bit of white, you know. What about the greenish Parisian blue? Is that like Prussian blue? I haven't tried them yet. I will likely open them up tonight with boyfriend while we watch. One bar this weekend. So you're gonna hold on to a chocolate bar for another whole week. Wow, you're made of strong stuff. Yeah, we need the full rainbow. Do you guys have a favorite color of the heart emoji? I know that's a silly question, but I'm wondering, is Winsor & Newton's manganese brown a color they still offer, or is it the discontinued one? Sassy, you have way more will. Yeah, seriously. I think if we added Otto's willpower and mine, the chocolate will still be gone by the end of this weekend. He's laughing and appreciating that. Oh, yay! It's good to have some news. Black Sapphire is a key member of this community. Yeah, absolutely. One of the OG. He's also trying to fill. Oh yeah! Oh, that's true. He has the shiny. Oh my gosh. Oh man, your poor fingers though, opening so many tubes and then closing them up. Oh, we kind of need to get you a gripper tool to open up the tubes. Box, you will have to eventually share photos of your palettes with us. I want to see the colors and the special inserts and all of that. I can make ultramarine as light as cobalt. I can't make cobalt as dark as ultramarine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, well, it's easy for me because not only am I blessed with ADHD, so I'm easily distracted by other things and have to be in the right mood for food, but I have food. Yeah. My issue is more that it's really difficult to forget about the naughty foods. Like, I'll forget about the fruits, no problem. But if there's a chocolate bar in the cupboard, yes, Winsor Newton still offer magnesium brown. Okay, cool. Cool. Because it's a really nice granulating brown, so I'm glad it's still available. I love the rainbow, Otto. Matisse have such a beautiful blue. Ooh. That sounds very pretty. I've stripped my palette down to 9 max to use. Oh, which 9? You have to tell us now, though. You can't just say that and not list the colors. This tool saved my... Seriously. Same. I just... Two of the tools that you don't really think might be this level of useful, but that turn out to be sort of mandatory, is a gripper tool to open tubes, and then a tube wringer to squeeze all the paint out. Buck says to tell you he's putting a pic is going up on Discord of the pans. Pre-painful. Ooh! Oh, I'm excited to see. I love grapes and tend to forget them in the fridge if I haven't made them. Yeah. Yeah, I tend to do that too, but I don't know. I think it's... I mean, it's probably like a good few sessions with the therapist to figure out why I sort of don't tend to forget the cookies, but I will forget the grapes, you know? Even if I love the grapes. But yeah, I mean, holding on to a bar of chocolate for a week, that's more difficult. But when they're made, I will carry the Tupperware around until they're gone. What do you call make them? Like clean them up and get them sorted out and ready to eat? Girl, no one needs a therapist to figure out why they remember the cookies and not the grapes. But the grapes are good too, you know. And sometimes the cookies are like cheap Chips Ahoy and they're not really that good. Like the grapes would actually be more enjoyable to eat. Titanium white, ivory black, okay. Red red light, alizarin crimson permanent, cadmium lemon, yellow ochre, ultramarine blue, raw umber, and yeah, that's a very sort of a very classic palette. And aside from the two cadmium colors, it's a fairly, like, it's a bunch of inexpensive pigments too. Yeah, but bruh, cookies. I mean, it depends on the cookies. Some cookies are just gross. So, might still eat them, but, like, miserably. You forgot a watermelon in the fridge? No! Oh, that's just too sad. Was it salvageable or was it too far gone? I don't know if it's menopause or age or what, but I've been finding I can't eat a whole bag of chocolate like I used to anymore. Halfway through a bar, I'm shivering and I've got a... Oh no. I second what Lana said, but you wouldn't buy gross cookies. I don't have a PR 177 in watercolors to test out. Do you prefer tube watercolor or pan watercolor? Because Rosa Gallery has that now. And they're really quite affordable. It's still there. Well, it's gonna be good then. There are cookies with veggies in them, healthy cookies. And they actually taste good. Yeah, I'm with Otto here. If you try, like, I draw the line at dried fruits in my cookies. Except coconut. But is coconut a fruit or a nut? Dun dun dun! Carrot cake cookies, would that work? I mean, veggies. Why not just have a decent cookie after a salad? Yup! Otto, high five! Clink! I'm absolutely with you there. Oh, it's so miserable to, like, reach for a cookie and it's a healthy cookie. Blech. Carrot cake cookie. I think it could work, but I feel like it's more suited to be a muffin or something. Chocolate cookies are... Oh, man. Oh, prefer tubes. Well, Rosa has tubes. What am I saying? Rosa has tubes. And they're still all the same price. And usually quite affordable. And I really... If I'm not mistaken, of course, but I really like their PR 177. Though I think it is not the most light fast of pigment, if that's something that worries you generally. Beware of cookies made of bean. Oh, you remind me. So, I was seeing something really odd at the grocery store. And it's the same company that does hummus here, which is named Fontaine Santé, which is a health fountain. And they had this chocolate, quote-unquote, hummus. And I kept giving it the side eye. And I was like, chocolate hummus, what? So one day I got brave enough, I grabbed it, looked at the ingredients, and it's not actually hummus with chocolate. It's just a kind of chocolate spread with pureed chickpeas in it. And it's delicious, actually. It's really quite good. But yeah, it took me a good while to get over the weird mental image of hummus but with chocolate in it. There's something about the, garlic side of hummus that doesn't vibe with the chocolate side of chocolate. So, yeah. But that's actually good. And it's part of it is chickpea puree. It's sort of like a healthy chocolate spread. It's a seed. Whoa! Every day we say today we have to eat that watermelon. Oh man, but watermelon is so good though. The healthy cookies are made... Oh yeah, made good. Yeah. I wish I could substitute cadmium colors, but the substitute don't work the same. Yeah. They haven't found a way to sort of make a similar color, but more affordable. Nope, not. What? You would have to try it, Otto, because it's just a chocolate-like spread thing. You can't tell there's chickpeas in it, and everything else is like some natural sugars, cacao, like vanilla, and that's it. was joking. Coconut is a fruit. No! I mean, you never know, right? Like a peanut is a legume and I picked up a beet hummus the other day. I haven't tried it yet, but it's pink and pretty. I mean, good if you can eat beets. It's a pretty color. Oh, fair. Oh, perhaps we should let Clive know about the lumpy elephant bit. That if there's a topic that's problematic or uncomfortable, is that a word? Not comfortable, just type in chat lumpy elephant, and that's sort of our keyword to switch topics. I need another number for my next pairing though. I only have 2. So I need one other number. Oh, I need to also did I update this? 1117, I think I did, right? Yeah. Yep. $19. We have a winner. Let's go. So 19 and 2. Yep, that's it. Yeah, sure. He's okay to listen about food. We're glad you aren't eating his liquidized diet, but hummus is on his approved food list. Oh, that's good. A good hummus is really hard to beat. Okay, so what was it? 19. And then sassy britches, you have 7, and you need to give me another one. We do talk about food all the time, indeed. Okay, so color number 2. Oh, that's cool. That's the Winsor Newton Prussian green that's discontinued. 7 and 12. Okay, so 2 and 19, 7 and 12. Still not done. Cool. Alright, so Prussian green. And I'm just reminded that I had a dream about pigments last night. Because I was looking at the pigments I have written down for the discontinued color, and there's no certainty that it's actually the right pigments, but that just brought back the memory of a dream I had last night where I was trying to figure out, I was hunting for a paint with PY65 in it. Edamame hummus. Ooh. He hasn't had that, but we both like edamame. Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like you can flavor it with something like a bit more, like a flavor profile that's a bit more like cilantro or whatnot. That sounds delicious. Yeah, I was really looking for a paint with PY65, and it's because I made a handmade mix this week where I put some ultramarine blue and PY65, and I think that came back. And I was dreaming about it. Well, have you had a better dream than me? I was in the hostage. Oh, Otto, what? What did you eat slash watch before going to bed now? To end up with a dream like that. 19. Oh, Berlin Maroon. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's a really cool mix. I'm so here for it. And it's beautiful Berlin Maroon from Winsor Newton. It's so pretty. It's pretty. Also on Pigments, he made comment that his hospital room was PW6 and he was geeking out about it. I mean, it's better that it's PW6 than PG-17, right? Sushi? Sushi. Oh, that's gonna be a really interesting mix. I can tell. Neutralizes instantly. Like, poof, black. There you go. I'd love to, but I never had a nightmare in my life. Maybe because I had that nightmare in reality. Ugh, yeah, okay. Dang, that's the most instantly neutral mix I've ever seen. And I just like mixed the two random amounts and yeah. It's really nice, isn't it? The green is a Prussian green from Winsor & Newton, which is sadly discontinued. It's possibly a mix of PY 109 and PW 27. So Prussian blue and PY 109. Hey Charlotte, hi! I didn't see your question, but I just answered, so let me know if you need me to repeat. Makes me think that mixes are actually a mix of three. The two pigments and the variation of water in it. That's fair. Yeah. Do you guys ever get like dreams where you have the dream and then for whatever reason you kind of wake up? and then you do whatever you have to do, feed the cats, go to the bathroom, whatever, go back to sleep and sort of pick up on the dream right where you left off. I can speak. Those are always so weird. Sometimes I will sort of rewind the dream a little bit and start over some parts of it, but yeah. Why? Just why? I have no idea. They yeah, that's true. Okay, Paulo has a point. Sometimes they discontinue pigments that you can't really, get from manufacturers anymore, which is fair. But I don't think PY109 is discontinued, and we all know that Prussian blue still exists. So if that's the actual color combo of this color, I have no idea why they stopped making it. Those are rare, but I call them series. I usually call the dreams the Dream CU, like the Dream Cinematic Universe, because there are things that will be really consistent within the weird logic of multiple dreams, and it's so weird. I went to a local art store in my new town and bought a bunch of discontinued. Oh, wait, White Knights or Winsor Newton? Winsor Newton. Oh man, that's so cool. I hope you found some great ones. Sometimes some discontinued colors are a bit lackluster. It's not like the same vibe as finding like an old tube of genuine Quinn gold, you know. Oh, that sounds really unpleasant on the patients. Maybe it has to do with the way they get the pigments. Yeah. And I was trying to figure it out because I'm like, why is this color discontinued? There's really nothing special about it if it's those pigments, you know. And I was like, what could it be? And I was like, is it because a PB27 is not the most light fast? But then I was like, no, they kept making a Aurelian until like this year. And it's gotta be the most changing color ever. Like, never mind the fugitive side of opera pink. Cobalt yellow will change just by existing on paper. You don't even have to put it under like sunlight or whatever. You just put it there and it's gonna do whatever it wants. And that was fine, but no, when you come to a color like Prussian green that's actually pretty and probably a bit more light fast, no, that one gets discontinued. I'm like, what's so annoying is when really cool colors are discontinued. Like, see that? I agree. The problem is beautiful colors aren't popular. Well, that's something that needs to be remedied. Did anyone else get chased by the T-Rex? No, but I was stalked by the velociraptors. Bright red and aura. Oh, those are lovely. Great finds. Oh, that's exciting. Do you plan on using them, right? Not just like keep them. Mr. Cogley says Aurelian PY40 is light fast. I think that says more about Mr. Cogley than it says about the color itself. Forever bitter. They say dreams when you get chased have significance, like dreams when you're in free fall. Yeah, but sometimes it's kind of very obvious. We have so many stressors nowadays that whenever I dream something particularly stressful, I'm just like, oh, that's just life. Yes, but not just in childhood, not always T-Rex, but dino-sized creature. Watercolor artists still use the Aurelian, which is weird. We know nothing, Paulo Snow. We know nothing. I should have responded with fart noise. Oh, dude. Oh, you're onto something. Were we all like scarred by... Absolutely. I was terrified of Jurassic Park when it came out, like in, what, 93? Terrified. And I couldn't tell you why. Because it made absolutely zero sense. But I was you know, old enough to not be scared, but yeah. I did not buy chrome yellow. Toxic. Yeah, it's fairly toxic. If it's genuine chrome yellow, it's probably interesting to a collector's, but if you want to paint with it, that's not a color that I would get either. The critters, though, took me sometimes. Oh man, I was terrified of everything. The Ghostbuster movie that has the pink ooze that comes out of the bathroom, the bath faucet thing. Terrified me for the longest time. Didn't help that I had a shampoo at the time that was the exact same color. And I kept side-eyeing my shampoo, like, if you move, I'm out of here, you know. Or, what was it, the movie The Witches? I don't know why, but that one was also particularly terrifying. Like, name it, and I was probably scared of it. Oh, Gremlins. Haunted shampoo. I mean, when you're like 5, you don't really rationalize all that well. The only part of Jurassic Park that ever stuck with me was the wiggly eye on that guy. Wow, what's his name? Ghostbuster 2, one of my faves. I think I would appreciate it a whole lot more right now. But when I saw it as a kid, I don't know why, but the idea that the bad stuff could come into your place through the sewers was novel and terrifying. And that song, it's so catchy. What song? I didn't realize just how many actors in Jurassic Park are still working. I mean, the paleobotanists, Loradern was in a bunch of stuff too. What's his name? Main dude. Well, my brain is just blanking out on names. Oh, we had 7 and 12, right? I'm gonna do 7 and 12, and that's gonna be it. Oh, Sam Neill, yeah. Yeah. Brain is like... Haha, names. Sam Neill. I saw Event Horizon not too long ago. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the like weird horror movie with him in it, and it was so freaking weird. In a good way, but like I've always seen him in like sort of wholesome roles. And then I saw that, and not too long after I saw the one the Omen movie with him as Damien. And I was like, whoa! Insane. Okay, so 7. Wait, I have to do the thing here too. 7 and 12. Seven is a core cobalt teal, which is just such a pretty color. And then 12 is the very interesting Winsor & Newton Lemon Yellow Deep, which is probably one of the stupidest names ever because it's not deep for one bit. Event Horizon was creepy. It is very creepy. I was punched out. What? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh man, but watching Event Horizon at the cinema. Oh man. Like big screen creepy stuff. That was my weird like thing that happened in the last 10 years, in that I used to be absolutely unable to watch horror movies, and then like a flip switched, and now it's sort of the movies that I enjoy the most. I'm absolutely fine with them. Not even a warning, yeah, just BAM! Did you know that he demanded production change the Australian flag on his uniform in Event Horizon? It normally has the UK flag in the corner, but he changed it. Oh, that's nice. Because he felt the world would have done that. Oh. Womp womp. We're probably... Bucks also didn't approve of me biting him to stop screaming while watching a zombie film in the cinema. So, not the biggest fan of horror movies, are you, Clive? I missed what you said about color 7 and 12. Oh, I said that the 7 is core Scobble Teal, and then the 12 is Winsor Newton Lemon Yellow Deep, which is not deep, but it's the one granulating yellow. You know, that one granulating yellow that we all love. Anyone like movies like Mr. Nobody? What was that one? Oh, speaking of big screen, did you guys hear how they're... No. I saw that, and it's dog poop, if you'll pardon my French. It's in the Sphere, and they... I would love it if they would feature the actual movie there. But what they did instead is they had the film be touched up by AI, and it's awful. It's so bad. Yeah, PY 159, that's the granulating yellow. But you have your choices between Schmincke's one and Winsor Newton, and I feel like Winsor Newton, in my opinion, is prettier. So that's the one that I usually recommend. Now, if only they made it in their super large 37 ml tubes. I would save up an arm and a leg just to get it. I feel like that's a staple pigment, like that you kind of always need. And when you run out, you just buy more, you know. Nope, I even jumped at Ratatouille. Oh no! I don't do jump scares. Aww. I'm not particularly a fighter, but I feel like the horror movies are the only ones that are perhaps a bit more relatable lately. Maybe. I've been going down the cyberpunk rabbit hole. What kind of cyberpunk? Like the franchise or just the general setting? Is it? I heard they retouched it because they couldn't zoom in without the picture. No. They've shared a couple of photos of it, like screens from the original movie, and then photos taken within the Sphere, and it's not retouched. It's completely redid some. They changed all the framing. They changed like it's just bonkers. It's so bad. Box has finished filling his... Ooh! Yeah, fingers have got to be, like, throbbing by now. Oh, man. Even with new tubes that are not, like, all gummed up and sticky and shut closed, it's... Oh, they don't do these to be, ergonomic at all. Though, if it's this, I don't know if it's the 5 ml tubes or the larger ones, but with the very small tubes, even the gripper tool sometimes is not enough because they're so small. There's nothing to grab it. Like, even the smaller grabber is a bit too big to get a good grip. But the swatching part is the best part. Like, they added the surroundings that... I mean, that's a red flag. Oh my gosh, that is such a red flag. Everything from Blade Runner to Ghost in the Shell. Ooh. Along with a bunch of 80s comics. Interesting. Oh man, dude, the older Blade Runner movie has such a great mood. Oh, a vacuum. Love it. If you guys hear some background noises. Oh, man. That's so nice how they... it's gotta be hard to see a bit, but like the granulating yellow is so interesting in mixes because it's not high contrast granulation, but it's subtle shift in the color. I think Box was super hyped for the paint, and it kind of didn't help during the stream this week where we did some mixes and featured some of the colors. They're so nice. Did I ever mention just how much I hate vacuum cleaners? I'm afraid to watch the live action version. Oh, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you hurt yourself that way? Oh, wait. Are there any other... Oh, hold on. Guillaume, c'est quoi le film avec Keanu Reeves qui faisait vraiment comme Shadowrun? Tu sais, le gars, il y a un mono-wire puis tout ça, là.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny Mnemonic? Okay, cool. Merci. Okay. I asked because I couldn't remember. But the movie Johnny Mnemonic with Keanu Reeves is surprisingly cyberpunk in a slightly kitschy way, and it's just really cool. Oh, pauvre Chiro. Poor baby. Hey, it's pet. Ouais, blink, blink, blink. Your neighborhood sounds just like mine. Stereos, machinery, dogs, sirens. I haven't heard any firecracker. Oh, yeah, we hear them mostly later in the night because why would you have fireworks during the day? But yeah, we have those regularly, and then lots of kids. Sirens, not all that much, surprisingly. Oh, Otto, thank you so much for being here. Wait, I should focus on this because I said that was the last thing before ending, and the stream is a bit over, but yeah. Oh, Wildflower, hi. I get it, but I think it's more of an experience. Because I don't have to put on pants to watch a movie at home, and the thermostat is where I want it. Yep, fair. And I can hit pause to go to the bathroom. That's also a key one. Have a good night, Otto. Oh, the kids around here do it during the day. Ugh. we hear a lot of fireworks every Friday and Saturday too, because we have a baseball field 3 blocks away downtown, and they're revolving Fenway. Fenway is a stadium, right? I'm trying to think if there are other like cyberpunky. The I don't know if that's your jam, but the animated series that they did for the cyberpunk game, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, it was quite nice. It was really quite nice. Alright, last one. Whoop. So it's a really interesting color mix. A lot of variegation happening, if that's even a word. You need pens if you want to go buy popcorn. That's a fair point. Handing phone to box to message now. Yes, filled. Ooh! I think my state still has one drive-in left, but the tickets are like 30. Oh, what? Oh yeah, your poor fingers. I'm not a huge anime fan. I like some of the old stuff, but I've heard Edge Runners. Yeah, it is. It is sort of surprisingly good in a way. Not because I had any kind of bad expectations, but it's really nice. I was going at light speed, so I didn't lose track of where Fenway's a huge stadium arena, big games, huge concerts. Oh, speaking of concert, 9 Inch Nails is playing in a few weeks. Oh no! Okay, I'll try to fit as many of the mixes in the frame that I can. Oh no! Both put. We have a crisis. Shiro's umbrella caught in the wind and flipped over. So I'm gonna go set that up when I'm done. I really love Akira. I'd consider it. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. Very cyberpunk. Okay, I think that's visible, right? That's all. Can't wait to use them most of the poured out. Yeah, you managed to only dip your finger in. That's good. That's good. And they usually dry so well, and they're so easy to re-wet. Phthalo blue. Oh, was it phthalo blue too? It's asking for it. All right, so I'm gonna go fix the kitten's umbrella outside. Are some of these? No, it's not PY129, but it's a similar color. It's Holbein's greenish yellow, which is a mix, but quite similar in hue. Third and fourth, huh? The more muted ones. Yeah, it's turning out to be really sort of useful and insightful. So I think we'll probably go through the rest of it in some aspect, and I'll try to take photos and share them when I'm done. Oh yeah, fully. I might do some off screen. I might do some during the members only live stream this week. But yeah, for sure, if I'm still doing that next time, we can have some purples going. And yeah, thank you so much everyone for being here. It was a lot of fun. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and just enjoy the weather if possible, your paints if possible, your pets if possible, all of that. And yeah, just overall a great weekend, and we will see each other in next week. If it's not Thursday, it's gonna be Saturday. So yep, again, thank you so much. Have a great weekend and a great week, and see y'all later. Bye bye. Ça s'est rectifié tout seul.